Hi everyone, it's Fruity Mama Yulia here from Rossum Healthy, and today I'm with Anne Osbourne, a long-term fruitarian. Anne has been on the fruitarian diet for nearly 23 years, is that right?
Yeah, 23 years, yeah.
Yes, and she's raised two raw vegan children actually, and her son Cappy is now 11 years old and he has been fruitarian since birth. So I wanted to talk to Anne about her experience of raising a fruitarian child. First and foremost, Anne, I'd like to go back, just and talk about your pregnancy,
Yes.
and then about your birth and how you recovered after birth on the fruitarian diet.
Yeah, I just had a great pregnancy. I was very active. I worked until I was 8 months pregnant. Had no issues with that. I also didn't put on much weight. With both my pregnancies, I only put on 10 kilos. Felt very fit and healthy, had no problems with swelling of ankles or, feeling tired or morning sickness or anything. So, my pregnancy was just a pleasure. I really enjoyed it. And then the birth was a home birth, the water birth at home, and that went really well, and I didn't need to take any drugs, thankfully. But what really surprised me was how well I recovered, because with my elder boy, that was like 12 and a half years before, so I was 12 and a half years younger, and to lose the pregnancy weight, it took about 3 months, and for my stomach to get sort of flat again, it took quite a few months, so I was expecting the same thing. But the next day after I gave birth, I had a flat stomach, which really surprised me.
That's during your second pregnancy?
Yes, during my second pregnancy. So I recovered much more quickly. I also lost my pregnancy weight within a couple of days. I was back to about 50 kilos, which is my normal weight. So I'm seeing the difference between the two pregnancies, because the first one I was in transition to a raw vegan diet, and the second one I'd been on the raw vegan diet for sort of nearly 12 years. And just the recovery time.
That's very interesting, because with your first pregnancy you were already vegan, and you were already eating high raw diet in a way, and very clean, right? Without oils, without processed food, or processed vegan food.
But there was some sort of whole grains that I was having in that transitional period, and I'd had in the years before. But then after having nearly 12 years on a raw high fruit diet, I found that my body just recovered so much more quickly, which was fantastic. And I even took a picture because I was like, my stomach, it's just, obviously, you need to tone up a bit after you've had a baby and your stomach's not quite the same, but to actually have a flat stomach the day after giving birth,
that's incredible.
I wasn't expecting it. And when you're not expecting something, it's like, well, this is another advantage of a fruitarian diet.
Right. So let's talk about you bringing up Cappy on the fruitarian diet, and how has his development been on this lifestyle?
His development has been very good, very natural. I do think children on a raw vegan diet may grow at a different rate, because they're not having artificial hormones in their food, and they're not having certain chemicals in their food. And so their endocrine system, which governs growth, will be functioning in a different way. So I think growth rates can be different. With my elder boy, he was on the growth charts of an Asian vegetarian child rather than a child on a Western omnivorous diet. I think we can focus sometimes too much on growth charts. We can look at how the mental development of the child, the skin, the teeth, the hair, the immune system, the energy levels, how happy and healthy they are. So I think it may be that if you have a raw vegan child, they may be on the growth charts, the standard growth charts, or they may not. And just because a child's not on the actual physical growth charts, I don't think it's necessarily anything to be concerned about if they meet all the other markers, if their mental development's good, if they're happy and healthy, they've got a good immune system, if they heal well, if they injure themselves.
That's very true. What about his teeth? Did he have any issues with his dental health?
With his milk teeth, he had a few issues just because he used to feed a lot at night. But with his adult teeth, his adult teeth are fine.
Okay.
But, I think with both my children, they had, they've had good teeth, and I think it's really important, that you maintain good dental hygiene with your kids, and that you get them good nutritional fruit that's got a lot of calcium and other minerals in, because that's very important for health and dental development.
What advice can you give to parents who perhaps are a little bit afraid about the raw vegan lifestyle? Maybe they heard a lot of misguiding information on this diet and how it can affect children. Not that it can affect children, but perhaps they heard wrong advice on this diet, but nonetheless they feel that it is the way to go, and raw fruits and vegetables, you can't go wrong, because these are the most nutritious foods that children can eat. So what advice can you give to parents?
I think something that's really important is that milk is really, really important for the first 3 to 4 years of a child's life. So if you're a raw vegan, are you prepared to long-term breastfeed? And I think where people can have challenges bringing up children on this lifestyle is if they don't get the milk. So I think the milk is a very important thing. And I think the quality of the fruit and vegetables, needs to be preferably, organic, biodynamic, local, wild fruit that's really high in nutrition, because a lot of commercially grown fruit is not high in nutrients, unfortunately, or not the micronutrients. So it might have the carbohydrates, the proteins, the fats, but it doesn't necessarily have all the vitamins and minerals. So I think that's a real focus. Children, need milk for those first few years of life, and then when they start to have fruit and vegetables, it's got to be really, really good quality, and also be continually aware. How's your child doing? Do you think your child needs more of something? Always be aware. It's not sort of like, I'm going to do this diet and that's it, full stop. I don't have to think about it. Always be aware, how's your child doing? Do you think they need more of something? How are their energy levels? How's their general health? And, it's a day-to-day thing in a way. You've always got to be aware of your children's needs, and are they being met?
Mm-hmm. Yes, that's very true. Well, certainly from my experience, we are raising raw vegan child, Eleni. She's been breastfed and she's living on fruit and she's full of energy. She's absolutely, her development is actually ahead of other children, well ahead of other children. She's smart, alert, energetic, and I think this is true for most raw vegan kids I've met. Certainly successful raw vegan children whose parents have been educated on this lifestyle, which is also very important. And they give them enough food and it's good quality, and they ensure other lifestyle factors. So.
And we can also, continually educate ourselves. We can learn about sort of anatomy, physiology, nutrition, biology, chemistry. We can learn all these things, and the more knowledge we have, I think the greater my faith gets in this diet, because everything I learn always comes back to, yes, we are by design frugivores.
That's right. Where can people find you, Anne?
I've got a website which is fruitgod.com. I'm also on Facebook if you search for Anne Osbourne, and I've got a YouTube channel, Fruit by Anne.
That's great. Okay, thank you so much, Anne. Let's give each other a hug. You're a wonderful, wonderful person. So guys, if you like this video, please like it. Feel free to share it with other people who can benefit from it. All right, all the best, Anne, and thanks for watching. See you again.
Thank you.